Governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, says the commitment of the present administration to mitigate the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on the people and the social economy of the state necessitated the idea behind the Ondo Cares program. The governor, at the official launch of the program held at the International Culture and Event Center, the Dome in Akure, said the beneficiaries of the program will be drawn from the 18 local government areas of the state. According to him, over 21,000 farmers will also benefit among the over 80,000 selected beneficiaries.
To generate employment for our teeming youth and efforts to avoid all this unrest in the state, we decided to set up what I would call indigenous entrepreneurial development agency, which is called ONDIA. Our beneficiaries, as we have set out, are supposed to be made up of 2,344 and vulnerable persons. We are going to work with 3,705 youths, male and female. Male and female. No discrimination. There are 48,000 beneficiaries of community micro projects. 48,000. So, all of us that are here, you don't see your own community, let us know on time. And tell us that every community must do impact. 48,000. That's the option. Then 21,978 smallholder farmers and 4,711 micro and small enterprises. As a way to formally commence and launch Ondo Care program today, the last beneficiaries, communities and farmers under the state community and social agencies and Madama will be given checks and packages.
In commemoration of the 2022 International Women's Day, IWD, women in Ondo State have called for a new and collective awakening that would set free the women folk from legal, social and political restrictions. Wife of Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Ayanwa Akeredolu, says the awakening becomes inevitable in the face of excruciating gender limitations and deniers that women are constrained to put up with in this part of the world. In a statement, Mrs. Betty Ayanwa Akeredolu said this year's International Women's Day coincides with widespread agitation over the rejection of pro-female legislation by members of the National Assembly. This development, according to the governor's wife, does not only express the disregard for the place and status of women in the country, but also a sad reminder that Nigerian women are still living under a climate of brute patriarchy. Mrs. Ayanwa Akeredolu urged women to rise and raise a stern, collective voice and break the biases that limit the full potential of women. The International Women's Day is marked globally to celebrate women's social, economic, cultural and political achievements of women. Meanwhile, the Ondo State chapter of the National Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, will tomorrow embark on an inclusion rally to protest the rejection of gender bills at the National Assembly. A statement by the NAWOJ chairperson in Ondo State, Doris Olumoko, described the development as a ploy to frustrate women out of political leadership. The statement called on women at both the state and grassroots level to mobilize to speak against what has been described as an ugly attack on the existence of the women folk. According to Doris Olumoko, the protest is tagged Ondo Women Inclusion Rally to demand and petition the State House of Assembly on the recent development. Also, data from the United Nations indicates that women are underrepresented at all levels of decision-making worldwide. This trend seems to make achieving gender parity in political life by 2030 a tall dream. Joy Piles in these reports samples the view of women against the backdrop of the National Assembly's rejection of 2 bills recently brought before it, seeking to soar chances of women in Nigerian politics.
Women participation in politics is believed to be a fundamental prerequisite for gender equality and genuine democracy, as it facilitates women's direct engagement in governance. In developed democracies today, girls and women have rights to vote and be voted for, serve on boards, and make their voices heard on issues that affect them, their families, and their communities. This perhaps prompted a member of the House of Representatives in Kiruka, Onyejocha, to sponsor a bill which sought to create an additional senatorial seat in 2 federal constituencies in each state and FCT for women, among other provisions. The bill, which was voted against by lawmakers at the ongoing constitution amendment at the National Assembly, sparked protest from women groups in Abuja calling for the speedy passage of the bills.
The 2 places where the constitution talked about women were places where they were discriminatory, where they wanted to bring the issue of child marriage. Talking about who is and says when a woman is married, the woman is an adult. In a country where we know that 10-year-old, 12-year-old are being forced to marry.
In Akure, the Ondo state capital, its rejection generated reactions among the female folks.
Nigeria, this is actually very sad. Sad indeed also because these bills have been rejected with a high level of impunity, with a high level of nonchalance, making it seem as if women do not have a place. And of course, when you also look at some of the provisions of the bills that were thrown out at the National Assembly, you realize that it's actually there are bills that actually make it seem as if women have a lower status in the society. And we are saying no to this. We are not happy about this. We are indeed angry that in a country where we contribute to the GDP, in a country where we have equal voting rights, in a country where we actually do all we can to develop this nation, we still are seen to have lesser rights than the male counterpart. This is unacceptable. Nigerian women are not happy. Ondo State women are not happy about this, and we are raising our voices to say no to this.
Society, population of Nigeria as a country, the percentage of women is above 50. And in a situation when you are saying this set of people have no bearing of the, it's rather to, we are not impressed. And women are stand and rejecting what they have decided, that now encouraging women to come into situation. I have about 100 people in the Senate House, and you're having just 7 women there. Where do they? I want them at the decision-making level. We have quality women who are up there, who have the sense, who have the knowledge for the running of this country, so that we can develop rightly with the other countries. We are saying we are giants in Africa. What type of giant we are when we don't want the larger population of the society to take part in the decision-making of the country and to be involved in the decision-making of the country and to be involved. We want the inclusion of women. So all women in Nigeria, we are standing up. All NGOs, especially women-led NGOs, we are standing up to reject what decision they have taken at the National Assembly.
They advocated that in order to meet global developmental goals and build strong, sustainable democracy, women must be encouraged, empowered, and supported in becoming strong political leaders.
Let's have women coming out to contest for Senate, coming out to contest for Assembly, for National Assembly, for representatives, coming out to contest the seats in representative as in the legislative arm of Ondo State. We need to have women in these key positions, these key lawmaking positions. That's the only way in which we can actually ensure that our rights are not thrown out, but our rights are actually given to us as women in Nigeria.
Really confirm that there's no sincerity at all in the country to encourage women. Why are people bringing religion into political situation of the country? We have different religion in the country. So let everybody come together. Let us bring our idea together. What our women can contribute to the development of this country is very, very high. And this, our women, we women should not be trampled upon. The Bible says that.
As the call for women emancipation in politics takes the center stage in Nigeria, it is the desire of women that criteria for political participation will be made flexible for them to contribute to national development. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Residents of Akoko area have commended the Ondo State government for the ongoing construction works on the Arigidi-Ogbagi 9.2 kilometers Virgin Road, saying it will boost economic activities in the area. They expressed delight that the road will check cases of kidnapping in the area, noting that it was the hideout for kidnappers. According to the Ondo State government, the construction of 9.2-kilometer road network at Arigidi-Ogbagi in Akoko Northwest local government area is in accordance with the promise to provide a better life for people of the state. The road network was a farm path before the state government intervention and a major link and the shortest between Akoko Northwest and Akoko Northeast. No fewer than 1,000 people have benefited from the empowerment program of the lawmaker representing the Akoko Northeast constituency at Ondo State House of Assembly, Rashid Elegbeleye. While presenting the materials to the beneficiaries, Mr. Elegbeleye, who is also the minority leader of the House, said the move is in fulfillment of his promises to his people. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi now reports.
It was a moment of joy for party faithful across the 13 wards that make up Akoko Northeast, who benefited from the kind gesture of the lawmaker representing the constituency at Ondo State House of Assembly. Artisans from across the council area went home with various equipment ranging from sewing machines, deep freezers, vulcanization machines, grounding machines, air dryers, among others, while the aged smiled home with food items to boost their living conditions. While distributing the items, the donor, Mr. Rashid Elegbeleye, said the move is to improve the livelihoods of his people and increase productivities towards reducing poverty and unemployment in society. He therefore advised the beneficiaries to make good use of the equipment with a promise to do more.
This one I've been promised to do for long, but I don't want it to be carried over. That's what I did. I use my own money, my little interest, my salary. Every month I used to deduct 30% of my income for saving because of this project. These people, the benefit of mankind, they should not go and sell it.
Dignitaries at the event, including former PDP state chairman Sonia Orungbemi and Olori Yabo Momo, appreciated Mr. Elegbeleye for putting smiles on the faces of the needy and encouraged him not to relent in promoting individuals.
Yorùkọ́ ọmọkànnúṣẹ́ lóríṣiríṣi people yẹn tó
3 months ago, and he's doing this one, and in April he's going to do another one. He's a marvelous man, and he's...
Some of the beneficiaries appreciated the kind gesture of Rashid Elegbeleye for being passionate about poverty alleviation among the constituents. The event serves as an avenue to recognize the efforts of the lawmaker at improving the living standard of the people, as he was honored with awards of recognition by Christian Association of Nigeria, Ikare Branch, and Focus Magazine. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi, Osrc News.
And as part of its humanitarian services to engender societal development, the Perfection Charity Ministry has reached out to the Agoireti settlement in Akure, the state capital. The founder of the ministry, Mrs. Victoria Oluwalusi, said the move was to reduce the neglect and stigmatization of leprosy in society. Bisola Aluko reports that the residents of the leprosarium were happy about the kind gesture from the organization.
Experts experts and advocates of development have opined that synergy between governments and non-governmental organizations is the way God of Perfection Charity Ministry is giving back to the society with its donation of food items, including drugs, toiletries,